Okay, we've all been there, right? You sit down, you're all ready to tackle some huge project. And then suddenly that tiny spot on your desk becomes the most important, urgent task in the entire world. Anything, literally anything to avoid the real work.
And it's this super common frustration. It's like, we have the time, we definitely have the ability, but just starting, man, it feels like trying to push a giant boulder uphill. So what is actually going on here?
And this is usually when that inner critic starts to get really loud. You know the voice. It's the one that tells you, I'm just lazy, or I have zero discipline. We start telling ourselves this story, and yeah, it feels true in the moment. But here's the thing, it's almost always wrong. So what if I told you the real reason has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with being lazy or undisciplined? There's a much simpler truth here. And once you get it, I'm telling you, it can completely change the game for how you approach your work. See, the real enemy here, it isn't some flaw in your character. It's a feeling, a really specific, really powerful one, the fear of just starting. And that right there, that reframes the entire problem. Think about it. You're not actually avoiding the work itself. You're avoiding the feeling of starting. That uncomfortable, awkward, where do I even begin moment, that's the real barrier. So here's what happens. Your brain, it's basically a master of self-preservation. When it looks at some huge task, writing that massive report or studying for a final exam, it doesn't see a bunch of small, manageable steps. Nope. It sees this impossibly huge mountain. Let's call it Project Everest. And this actually brings us to a cool concept from, of all places, chemistry class. It's called activation energy. It's just the minimum amount of energy you need to kickstart a reaction. For us, it's that initial jolt of mental effort it takes to go from doing nothing to doing something. So, when that activation energy feels way too high, when Project Everest just looks completely overwhelming, your brain basically hits the panic button. It slams on the brakes and immediately starts looking for something easier, something less painful, like scrolling through your phone. Procrastination isn't a failure of character. It's just a defense mechanism. It's your brain trying to protect you from feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so if the big problem is that the cost of starting feels too high, then the solution has to be, to make that cost ridiculously, almost laughably low. And this is where the genius and the beautiful simplicity of the 5-minute rule comes in. Yup. This is the magic number, the number that's going to help you trick your own brain and just bypass that whole fear response. 5, just 5 minutes. The rule couldn't be simpler. You just commit to working on that big, scary task for only 5 minutes. That's it. You set a timer, and when those 5 minutes are up, you are 100% free to stop. No guilt, no strings attached. And I mean, we are talking incredibly small steps here. So if your Project Everest is, say, a 5,000-word essay, your 5-minute task is not write the introduction. No way. It's open the blank document. Or maybe just write the title. The goal is to make the first step so tiny that your brain literally has no reason to object. Okay, and here's where the magic happens. Because once you've spent that tiny little bit of activation energy, a law of physics takes over. Inertia. A body in motion tends to stay in motion, right? Getting started was the hard part. Once you're moving, even just a tiny bit, you'll find that all that mental resistance just starts to melt away. And I bet, more often than not, when that 5-minute timer dings, you're just gonna keep going. All right, so how do we turn this into a practical, everyday game plan? Let's talk about how you can actually put the 5-minute rule into action. We'll call it launch mode. First things first, we have to change our to-do lists. Putting something vague like start huge project on there, that's basically just an open invitation to procrastinate. Instead, you've got to define a super concrete physical micro-step, something that takes less than 2 minutes, not do the budget, but open the spreadsheet and name the columns. So, the whole plan is super simple. Step 1, define that ridiculously small micro-step. Step 2, make the 5-minute commitment. Set that timer and give yourself total permission to stop when it goes off. And step 3, and this one is so important, celebrate the launch, not the finish line, the launch. And you know what? That last part leads to the real win here, the long-term victory. Because this isn't just some little productivity hack. It's a fundamental shift in how you think about success and how you build momentum. Think about it. We're pretty much trained from day one to only feel good when the whole mountain is conquered, when the project is completely finished. But that's just not sustainable.
The new mindset is all about rewarding the single hardest part of the entire journey, the start. When you let yourself feel that little burst of accomplishment for just beginning, you create this awesome positive feedback loop that makes it so much easier to start the next time. And please remember this. You cannot think your way out of procrastination. You can't just brainstorm and strategize your way into feeling motivated. You have to act your way into clarity. The path forward, it only becomes clear after you take that first tiny step, never before.
So just let go of all that pressure to finish everything right now. Seriously, the goal for today is not to conquer Project Everest. The goal is just to have a successful launch. And if you do that, you've already won the daily battle against procrastination. And that really is the only question that matters today. Not what huge thing will I finish this week, but what is my ridiculously small 5-minute step right now? So think about it, define it, go do it, and then celebrate that you got started. Because that is how you truly begin.